Hello, trading has closed on July 31st, 2015. I'm Jeff Tennant. At Thursday's close, we gave a couple of possibilities for today. One was that we would drop from the open, which didn't happen. The other is that we would have a gap over Thursday's range and then drop, and that's what happened. We get to close, even one more failed mejt target off the list, 2111.48 from July 23rd. There really aren't that many targets left. These two targets right near the high don't really have to print according to the system. That's because they're so close to the high, and mejt likes to leave failed targets near major changes in trend. All we have besides that for this year is 1986.08 from 5 months ago. Before that, we have to go back 4 months to October, and before that we have to get 6 months earlier back to April to get any targets which haven't printed. So these things don't always print when you want them to, but they do print. There's a new mejt target of 2111.45, most likely to print Monday, and that's the call for Monday. Early on, mejt said ultimately, don't do that, said ultimately higher prices would print, which they did. It said the move was a false move and that prices would retrace. It also said ultimately lower prices would print and prices would retrace to this line, which they did. Let's get rid of this here. It now says this whole move is shown by this red F is false and gives us a target price of 2111.45. Well, let's see what other things we have. Gapping up, hitting a series of new highs and then closing under all of them and actually in the red. That's pretty negative action. Point one. Point two is we dropped for most of the day and couldn't really close low enough at the close to seal the deal. I don't think that this late drop in the last 5 minutes counts for anything. Basically, just before the close, we had recovered all these lows, and just after the close, we even recovered this low in futures. That could all be negated if we drop at the open, but that's reasonably positive. The negative aspects of this would be negated if we gapped over this high, and the positive aspects of this would be negated if we gapped under the low. So we have a good chance for gapping outside of today's range, and because there's a higher mejt target, that could be a gap over today's high. We do have considerable support at the low. Here's the price of the FOMC announcement. Even before the announcement was made, you can see it was support for this consolidation. We went back up to it, and although support usually becomes resistance, it's now become support again. Here was our stilt, the diamond on stilts. Here's our target at a higher price. We never hit the price target at all. In fact, all we did was to get a run-of-the-mill 61.8% correction. I'm no expert on ending diagonal triangles, but I think that could be one. And if it is, it implies a rally's coming. So the call for Monday is higher prices, 2111.45, and a reasonable chance to have a gap over this high. I still would be happier if such a gap did not hold. If we gap under the lows, all bets are off. Other than that, I'm looking for higher prices on Monday, and that is today's call.